provincial capital in southern Catalonia, Tarragona encapsulates everything that people love about Spain's Mediterranean coast. For ancient culture, it's one of the best destinations in the country, with a UNESCO-listed ensemble of Roman archaeological sites that date to when this was the most important city in Iberia. You'll need way more than a day to see everything, and what's incredible is the way these ruins harmonize with the streets in the old part of the city. There are golden blue flag beaches minutes from the city center, and don't forget PortAventura, Spain's top theme park just down the road. Today we share the top 10 best things to do in Tarragona so you can plan a trip and experience all the exciting attractions and activities this beautiful city has to offer. Starting with number 10, Tarragona Amphitheatre. Tarragona's amphitheatre had an exquisite setting, carved into a steep slope between the Roman walls and the Mediterranean. As you leave the Part Alta, this elliptical arena is laid out in front of you and framed by the Azure Sea. It was built in the late 100s and could hold 15,000 spectators, who would have showed up for some pretty grisly exhibitions like the burning of the city's early Christian bishop Fructuoso during the rule of the 3rd century Emperor Valeriano. You can easily make out the amphitheatre's lower basement, from which gladiators and wild animals would have been hoisted up to the arena floor. At number 9 is the Ferreres Aqueduct. 5 minutes north of Tarragona, bridging a pine-wooded valley, is a 250-meter section of an aqueduct that channeled water from the Francoli River to ancient Tarraco. The monument has 36 arches and rises to 27 meters from the valley floor. If you don't mind heights, you can walk along the Spicus, where the water flowed, even though the walls of this structure don't reach far above thigh height on most people. You could combine the aqueduct with a visit to El Metal, which was where the limestone for Roman Tarraco was quarried. The quarry is bursting with plant life as the high walls have created a microclimate with high humidity. At number 8, Roman walls. On the west side of the Part Alta, you can get up onto the original Roman walls and take a tour of the ramparts, where there's a captivating melange of history. Medieval coats of arms and 18th century gun positions appear next to original Roman towers and stones with 2,000-year-old inscriptions. These defenses have been in place since the 3rd century BC, when Tarraco became a base for Roman forces during the Second Punic War. What's really interesting is the way the lower sections of the walls are rugged and clearly much older. At number 7, Part Alta. The highest part of Tarragona is also the oldest and is the site of Tarraco's ancient provincial forum. For hundreds of years, right up to the late Middle Ages, this is where the city's entire population lived, separated from El Serrallo, which was Tarragona's seafront community. Now it's where you should come for a wander, with little streets running beneath houses that occasionally incorporate Roman walls and stonework. Some are preserved as museums, like Casa Castellarna, a 15th century Catalan Gothic manor house with a lovely patio. At any time of the year, people will be out on the squares, chatting over meals or drinks at outdoor restaurant tables. At number 6 in our list, El Serrallo. We've mentioned the Rambla Nova, a sophisticated pedestrian boulevard laid out in the 19th century. On either side are restaurants and many of Tarragona's high street brands. From there you could go down or up the hill to see more of the city. To see Tarragona's old fishing neighborhood, then you can work your way down to El Serrallo, an unpretentious quarter facing the port, which also has the city's best fish restaurants. Halfway down the hill is the newly restored Mercat Central, a central part of daily life in the city, in a century-old modernist building. At number 5, Platja del Miracle. At the foot of the cliffs, on the other side of the train tracks, is the main beach on Tarragona's waterfront. You can cross the tracks via the tunnel near the amphitheater, or on the level crossing just past the station. It's a long and enticing arc of golden sand, and there's a short promenade on the east side, as well as bars, restaurants, and nightclubs around the Nautical Club in the port to the west. The waters have moderate currents, which, depending on the weather, might not always be suited to younger swimmers. At number 4, PortAventura World. Surely the best family day out in Spain, and one of the most visited theme parks in Europe, PortAventura is a 10-minute train ride from Tarragona's Renfe station. How you spend your time is entirely down to your taste and the age of any little ones that you bring along. There's a whole zone with a Sesame Street theme, for instance, with 11 rides for younger visitors. For older kids and adults, you've got white-knuckle roller coasters like Dragon Con, which has 8 inversions, or the Huracan Condor, dropping you to Earth from 100 meters. There are also shows for all ages, and a water park and golf courses as part of the wider resort. At number 3 in our list, El Poblet Monastery. A half-hour road trip into Catalonia's countryside will get you to El Poblet Monastery, a medieval UNESCO at the foot of a mountain range and overlooking vineyards. This marvelous Gothic complex was founded in the 12th century by French Cistercian monks in the wake of the Moors' retreat. The most historically significant part is the Gothic Royal Chapel, where several kings of Aragon were interred from the 12th century Alfonso II to Juan II in the late 15th century. On the way to El Poblet, stop by the town of Mont Blanc, which is totally encircled by its medieval walls, protecting a core of old stone streets you won't mind getting lost in. At number 2, Tamarit-Punta de la Móra. Minutes up from Tarragona is a gorgeous sweep of coast, starting at Platja Larga. This golden beach seems to go on forever, and behind it are low-impact holiday communities and campgrounds with chalets. Eventually, the beach gives way to Tamarit-Punta de la Móra, a natural park on a headland covered in pine forest. On the fragrant trails you can find wild herbs, mushrooms and asparagus depending on the season, and the paths will lead down to little coves like Cala Bex and Cala Fonda, where few tourists venture. Check out the number 1 places in our list, Tarragona Cathedral. One of the great things about Tarragona's Romanesque and Gothic cathedral is the way it sneaks up on you. The streets around, like Cara de la Merceria and Cara Major, are compact alleys with traditional local amenities, antique shops and restaurants. And then on Placa de Santiago Racinal, everything opens up and you can see the regal Gothic facade. There has been some sort of temple here since Roman times, through the Visigothic and Moorish periods to the 12th century when the cathedral was constructed. Now it's time to hear from you. What's your favorite things to do in Tarragona? Is there something we missed? Let us know in the comments section below, and don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to Greenable if you haven't already. Click the bell icon to stay updated on all our latest content.